We're joined today by Dana Fleming, the Deputy Electoral Commissioner. With the state election almost upon us, Dana's going to answer some of the most common questions that arise about the electoral process in Victoria.
Thank you, Bill.
Let's start with new voters. A lot of people will have turned 18 since the last election. When do they need to enrol by?
To vote in this state election, everyone needs to be enrolled by the same date, which is the 8th of November by 8 p.m. So that includes those new voters, 18 or even new citizens. But if you're 18 and you're a bit worried that you might forget that deadline, you can actually enrol if you're already 17, and that means we will then automatically enrol you so you don't have to worry about doing it again.
And so how do they go about enrolling? Is it something that you can just do online?
Absolutely, they can just go to our website and enrol very easily online.
This is the first election that has been held under new rules around political donations. So what difference will voters see with that change?
The key change is last election, we did have federal laws, but they only had a donation disclosure amount of $13,500, which is quite high. So this is the first time we've got Victorian specific requirements, and the key change there is now if you make or receive a donation of more than $1,080, you have to disclose that. And the way you have to do that is through our VSC Disclosures online portal, and you have to do that within 21 days. And a gift, just to be clear, is not just money. It can also be a donation of property or even services.
What are the authorisation requirements around campaign materials?
That's quite a simple requirement. It's not us formally doing it. The person just has to put their name and address on that electoral campaign material itself. And those rules apply to everyone, not just political parties and candidates, and at all times, not just in the election period. And that's so that voters and the public can make up their own mind about the source of that information and whether they trust the message.
And so do you have concerns with this election about misinformation or disinformation?
There's no doubt, Bill, there's been a big rise in the spread of misinformation and disinformation. That's not just Australia, that's globally, and all electoral management bodies are grappling with that. So we have taken some active steps this election to try and combat that spread. First and foremost, we have published a specific video about an media literacy campaign surrounding that. And that's to help people identify misinformation and disinformation, and we just call it simply sorting fact from fiction. And it just gives you a few key tips to try and look at that information and work out whether you really should trust it or not. There's also, you can of course jump on our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and ask us questions, and we can definitely debunk any myths that you see, which leads me to the other key step we've taken, which is we have followed the ASC's lead and published a misinformation register. And that's got sort of election mythbusters listed on it, like if you're not vaccinated, you can't vote, which of course is completely untrue.
So the 59th Parliament has concluded its sittings. Can you outline the process from here? What happens next?
Yes, so it's quite a formal process. It all kicks off on the 1st of November when the Governor issues the writs, and that's the start date. After that, the next key date is the 2nd of November, and that's when you can, for the first time, apply for your postal vote application, which we expect a lot of people will be quite interested in doing this time. And it's also the date candidates can start to nominate. And we've got early voting starting on the 14th of November, so 2 weeks of early voting until we have Election Day, the 26th of November. That's of course the biggest day of all for everybody, and then we count the votes for quite a long time until we can declare all the seats and regions. And the last formal step, I must say, is returning the writs to the Governor on the 17th of December.
Are we likely to see all of the results on election night, or will it take some time?
We'd all love the results to all come out on election night. But we know from previous experience that there will be a number of close seats, and they will go to preference distributions, and they do take time to do and will take more than just election night. So there will be further counting over the following weeks, and that will take some time. Our priority is of course an accurate count, not necessarily a fast count. And then we have the added complication if there is the third step, which is a recount, and that happens in particularly close seats where it comes down to a handful of votes. We do ask for everyone's patience as we progress our counting over the following weeks.
So if people are seeking more information, you just mentioned the website, is that where they should go?
Absolutely, Bill. It's the source of truth for anything to do with election processes or operations. Please do go to the VEC's website first.
Well, the best of luck with it, Dana. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Bill.